Welcome into Teller Time. Hey guys, did you know we're celebrating two of America's greatest traditions? We have National Coconut Cream Pie Day and Give Someone a Cupcake Day, which means if you're not eating dessert for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're doing it wrong. We're coming to you from the Immer Cabin, tucked right behind the Woodland Park Library, where the walls have heard more stories than Tom and Charlie combined, and that's saying a lot. As always, we're proudly sponsored by the Ute Pass Historical Society, the folks who keep our local history alive while we keep these microphones warm. Hmm. Looks like our local historian Charlie has got his eye on something special, and it's not a cupcake or cream pie. Let's see. Could be a throwback to the days when baseball uniforms, bats were heavy, and nobody knew what sunscreen was. That's right. It's a vintage baseball game rolling into town, and Charlie's about to take us on a trip to the crack of the bat glory days.
Oh boy.
Charlie, why don't you step up to the plate and tell us a little bit about this?
Okay, Tom, thanks. Your amazing oratory, as usual, is stunning. All right. So, August 8th, we are hosting with the city of Woodland Park. We're hosting the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association, the first annual, the first game ever, well, not ever, since 1800s that was been in Woodland Park. It's going to be right off 24, down by where the Gymkhanas were, and the old Saddle Club had a little arena down there. It's looking to be an exciting event because there's going to be so many things there, not just baseball. We're going to have, Cracker Jacks, popcorn, the whole 9 yards, ice cream. I'm sure there'll be root beer and some floats floating around. And then we'll have some good vocal singing, and there's going to be just a lot of entertainment. The Cripple Creek, or the Victorian Society out of Cripple Creek, is also going to be there with us, and they're going to be all in costume, all in vintage costume, and we'll have a couple of sheriffs there. We're going to have a criminal running around stealing pies, probably one of yours, Tom.
There you go.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun, entertainment. Plus, they're playing by the rules of 1864 baseball. Right at the end of the Civil War is when it started. And I'll tell you what, the rules are a lot different because they don't use gloves, and the ball is kind of a mixture between a softball and a hard ball. And even the spectators, if you catch one of the balls on a bounce, the guy is out. The spectators can do that. So, and and they give you the whole lowdown at the beginning. The umpire gets out there on a PA system and explains the entire rules. It's just, there's so much to talk about there. But remember that date, August 8th. We're sponsoring it with the City of Woodland Park. The Ute Pass Historical Society and the City of Woodland Park. We're sponsoring that.
Starting at what time is starting?
11. We're looking at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And, the way the ball game goes, it could run through the middle of the afternoon or maybe even a little longer. Just depends on how big the thing is.
That's in that big open space between Safeway and Walmart. That big field.
That's right. Yes.
Everyone has their own way of looking at things from different angles, you might say. And speaking of seeing things from a whole new angle, let's bring in a guy who actually knows what he's doing behind a camera. Our guest today is Cody Kilgore, a man who can make a sunrise look like it's posing for him.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah. So, Cody, get on in here and let's get you talking lens to lens with our own in-house photographer.
Well,
Charlie. Let's see who shutter snaps first.
Oh, gosh.
This is Teller Time, the only show where the focus is always sharp and the only show bold enough to stay in focus even when the hosts are shooting completely from the hip. All right, Cody, welcome.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So what's your first question for Cody?
This is all Cody's. I don't have questions till later. So tell us about the who, what, when, where, and why, and what he's all about and the business that he's here and why is he here.
Well, speaking of baseball, I'll lead off. Okay.
There you go.
So Cody, I mean, I appreciate you are an outstanding photographer, and that's coming from someone who was in the business myself for a long time. And I'm interested at, first of all, how or where you hailed from, which I kind of have an idea, but I want to hear you say it and whereabouts in the area you were at, and then what brought you into the art of photography.
So yeah, I originally hail from a little town of 300 people called Mosby, Missouri. It's about half hour out of Kansas City to the east.
Mm-hmm.
But then moved into the suburbs of Kansas City when I was a teenager. And that's where I learned photography in high school back then.
Right.
And at some point in my life, I ended up spending 25 years in Iowa. Um, and that's where my photography business really got launched. So photography, I learned it in high school. I set it aside as a hobby for a long time. Did the corporate gigs, 3 different corporate gigs, before I finally said, you know what, I want to go out on my own
Yeah.
thing.
Nice.
And so I launched a photography business, and I say that I'm the accidental wedding photographer because I honestly started like we all do.
Yeah.
You want to do babies, families, seniors, all that stuff. And that's how I first started when I hung my shingle out. But then, and I wasn't planning on doing weddings, but then a friend of mine said, "Hey, would you do ours? We want somebody that we can be comfortable with." And from that one wedding, I had like 4 weddings come out
Oh
of
yeah.
referrals. I mean, it's the best way to get business.
Yes.
And so I went to doing exclusively weddings at that
Wow.
point and never looked back. So I've been doing weddings exclusively for about 16 years now,
Nice.
across the 500 wedding mark. I'm a
That's
paid
great.
professional wedding crasher,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love it. It's been my dream job. I can't think of ever doing anything else now that I've been doing it for so long. So
Well, and it sounds like it's been from our brief speaking before this session.
yeah,
Sounds like you've expanded it to where you're not just national, but you've actually gone overseas to do
yeah,
something.
I've done a couple of weddings in Europe.
Nice.
If you include Iceland, I actually did 2 weddings by accident in Iceland.
Wow.
We were going to go up to do an engagement shoot with a couple. It didn't work out, so Jen and I stayed there. We were there for a week and touring Iceland, and we accidentally came across 2 elopements that were happening.
Oh.
And at the first one, Jen saw, I didn't see it, and she said, were they getting married back there? And I practically spun the car in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
went back, shot some photos for him, and then we had the same similar thing happen at a waterfall on another part, but it was kind of cool. And I connected with those couples. The first one's from Taiwan. They had
Wow.
children later. I heard we kept in touch a little bit, but that's the kind of thing that's been a part of my journey in being a wedding photographer. Is kind of joys like that you come across.
Well, and in my opinion, and I'm only going from my own weird history that some photographers don't necessarily have real boundaries. I guess you would say sometimes. Well, like you were saying, you spun around and went back, and there you are. Bam! You kind of crashed it, but it was a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's very much so with, as you probably know, with a lot of the journalist photographers. They tend to cross the line once in a while. So, that's okay, as long as it's within, you got to have respect and a little consideration.
In the journalism field, and I actually did some photojournalism through college, and then later as an independent photojournalism.
Mm-hmm.
You have to push the boundaries a little bit. You have to be a
Exactly.
little brave.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, you're not going to get that shot that maybe is so unique, or at least different.
That's it.
The way everybody else is covering it.
That's it. And the art of not getting arrested is something that you got to keep in your head, because you don't want. I know, me too.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, you guys been arrested for your
I
efforts?
came really close. Real quick, but you may have had a similar thing. I was in Durango at one time, and they had a heck of a fire going on there, wildland fire, forest fire, and they were trying to, the local paper guy I happened to know was talking to over there. He goes, if you get some good shots of that, man, we'll throw you a bone, you know. And I said, really? And I said, okay. So at night, of course, when the flames are up going on, and you know, I was trying to catch that sort of ambiance, and it wasn't a good thing. It was an awful fire, really. But I crossed the line. I got behind their, you know, their boundary, and went down this dirt road. They didn't actually have it blocked off. They had it blocked. Anyway, I got through there, and I wasn't supposed to be there. And they came up on me while I was getting those shots. So, but it was a pretty wicked time
Yeah.
for that. That was the closest I think I came for being locked up for that.
Yeah, I've got a couple stories like that. Actually, one of my claims to fame. So, as a photojournalist for the college that I was in, I was sent to cover a Reagan rally,
Oh,
and you know it's in Springfield, Missouri, and here comes Reagan on this horse and buggy thing, and all the big name, you know, CBS, NBC,
yeah.
they've got camera crews there, and they're backing up through this whole thing. Well, I had found a static position, and this CBS cameraman, you know, just rolls right over the top of me. So here I laid out.
Oh, I know. Don't you love that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But and you know, Secret Service came around, and they searched me for some reason. I was the guy laying on the ground. I thought I was the guy that needed searching. For
Yeah.
some reason, you know. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, lots of stories like that. And yeah, I covered some political events,
Me too.
stuff in
Yeah.
Chicago and stuff like that. I accidentally got between a line of riot police and some protesters
Oh no.
because I was working without a spotter. You know, normally when you cover an event like that, you've got a spotter because
Yes.
you're in the lens.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you've got somebody with a hand on your shoulder trying to keep you out of harm's way. And I was working without a spotter that day and wandered into a no man's land that I probably shouldn't have. But
Ooh.
I got out. It was okay. I got out
Yeah.
before the real clash happened. So
Just the experience of it too.
yeah,
Kind of it brings a whole new appreciation of how the whole art form can work in different genres like that.
yeah.
I mean,
And you know, photojournalism translates to wedding photography almost
yes,
perfectly.
it sure does.
You're covering a couple's event for the day, and you're trying to tell their story, and you're trying to tell it uniquely, and from a perspective that they don't necessarily get to see and experience that day. So
Mhm.
you're their eyes for that day, and so that experience I had as a photojournalist translated to being
Help.
It was just like segue perfect.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I loved. What I loved about photojournalism when I did it was that you're freezing a moment. You know, it's
A moment in time.
a
You're,
moment in time. It's kind of trite to say it that way, but there's really no other way to describe it. You're freezing something that's never going to happen again
that's right.
from the way that you've seen it and
Yes.
presented. So
Yeah.
and I try to bring that to weddings too, honestly. So
Well, that's the way to do it. Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's brilliant the way you describe that because it's so true. So, do you have I want this to talk more about your situation. I mean, do you have more than just weddings that you do? Are you doing any commercial stuff?
you know what? I did exclusively weddings for years. But since moving here, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Um, I've kind of decided to branch out into some of the other stuff,
Mhm.
families maybe.
Mhm.
If you're in the wedding business here in Colorado, you probably better be prepared to do micro weddings
Yep.
and or elopements,
Right.
destination weddings, because
Engagement stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I do a little more of that because I don't, it's your calendar can't necessarily fill just from weddings alone.
That's
So,
exactly right.
yeah,
So, how long have you been out here? And where do you?
about 18 months now. So,
18
yeah,
months.
about 18 months. So
All right.
we moved in, we actually moved into our place, I think it was January 4th or something of last year. And like 4 days after is when we got that huge snowstorm.
Yeah.
Up at up, we live at 9,300 feet up there. It was like a 16-inch snowstorm that day. So,
So you're up by a divide area?
well, yeah, off Edlow Road.
Oh, Edlow, sure.
So kind of halfway between here and divides.
Nice. Yeah.
We always say we live on the North Slopes.
Yep.
it's beautiful out there.
It sure is. I like that area. That's Catamount. What do they call it?
United States.
Yes, it's right there, and there's just beautiful area. In fact, I got to go out there soon. You know that ranch, PBJ, I think it's.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
got the yaks.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you haven't tried that, you ought to. Yak is
Yak
pretty
meat.
good.
Okay.
Yak you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
No, it's good stuff. But anyway, yeah, they're letting us shoot part of that documentary. Their ranch spreads all the way close to that Edlow side, and so they're gonna gather some cattle for us, and we're gonna get a good shot there with the peak in the background and all that. So anyway, you've been here 18 months,
yeah.
and are you? I mean, tell us what you feel about Teller County and the community. Have you had any good
They'll-
vibes? And
They'll carry me out of here in a cold, dead corpse.
yeah,
This is it.
it's a great place to be. Yes.
You know, when we decided we wanted to move to Colorado, it can maybe even back up a step. So I started marketing and working in Colorado like 6 years ago
Oh,
because we'd been coming out here doing hikes, doing 14ers, seeing the country for several years before that. We knew we wanted to move here. So I started marketing here
right.
to build my business up out here. And you can't just shut one place off and start another. You kind of have to segue it. So
Yes.
while I was working out here and all the trips that we did out here, we were researching where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And again, I had the criterion that I needed to be within an hour and a half of DIA. I still fly for a lot of weddings, but so we had a couple of criterion. I told Jen I want peace and quiet. I want to walk out the front door and not see my neighbor.
Right.
And she wanted to be within 20 minutes of a Whole Foods or natural grocery store. That was our two big boxes right there.
Right.
And we actually visited Woodland Park, I think it was the third time before we thought, that's it.
Yeah.
The first time we visited, I think I was trying to make a left-hand turn on 24 in the middle of traffic.
Wow.
And that's when I thought, I don't know about this place, But
Believe me.
yeah, we kept coming back. And we figured out it checks all the boxes we want. We wanted a small community.
Right.
We lived in the suburbs of Des Moines. We actually had an organic farm there, and it was originally outside, 4 miles outside of town.
Field of Dreams, maybe?
No,
No.
that's Dyersville.
That's
yeah.
a little farther away. Yeah.
We are on the western suburbs, but the last 2 years that we lived there, we got surrounded by a 200-home subdivision.
Oh.
And so, we lost our peace and quiet. And I think the final nail in the coffin was the day that an ice cream truck drove through the plant.
Do you, living in Colorado or in Teller County, the temptation, I'm sure, would be do you delve into more of the landscape stuff, a little more of the wildlife photography? Have you done any of that?
I do a little of that. So here's the thing. I'm a little guilty of when you make your living with a camera, it's kind of tough to pull it out just for fun.
I know, isn't that right? Yes.
Particularly the way that cell phones
Yeah.
can perform for you now. And when you look at carrying 20 to 50 pounds worth of camera gear around with you, Dome Rock is a great place. I love to hike.
Oh, yes.
But lugging all my gear, the 10.5 miles of the loop around Dome Rock, as much as I'd love to get some of those shots.
I understand.
Yeah, so you kind of have to wait, or trying to, pull your bag all the way up a 14er.
Oh.
So you tend to be kind of picky about where you take, and I get it out more when I'm going to someplace new.
Oh, yeah.
I've not experienced yet, or if I'm pretty sure I'm going to experience a wildlife that I want to make sure I get shot at.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, that's really some good information. You and Charlie had a nice little chit chat there. So,
We could probably go on for
all
an
right.
hour.
That's what I'm saying. Go grab a cup of coffee. Go grab a donut somewhere. But
A donut?
Okay.
there you go. Oh, yes. Okay. But all right, Cody, you're gonna have to buckle up because we're about to rapid fire some questions at you. Faster you can say hold still.
I'm scared.
All right. So first one, be honest. How many times have you said just one more shot, but really meant 10 more?
Oh, Are you expecting me to give you a counter? I think that happens almost every wedding.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if your camera could talk, what would it say about your photography habits?
Uh, Give me a break. I need some time off.
That's right.
Do you ever use the words "say cheese" even when photographing landscapes just to keep the energy up?
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. I try to find, you know what? Yeah, you have to make the
No, that
yeah, you have to make the formals fun, and you've got to be a little more inventive than say cheese.
exactly. That's an old. Oh no, no,
You
no.
never use "say cheese," Charlie?
God no.
No. What was your
That's
first
it's too cheesy. I mean, you don't do that.
So
I mean,
if you're good at wedding photography, I mean, the most tedious part of the day are the formals.
oh yeah,
If you don't make that fun,
that's it.
it can really bring the tone of the day down.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
try to keep people laughing.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Say cheese doesn't cut it.
No,
All
no.
right. Well, let's continue. You survived the interview. You survived the funny question challenge, but now you're stepping into the danger zone, also known as the lightning round.
Oh yeah.
Fast and furious and fired off quicker than you can say wrong aperture. Let's see how sharp you really are.
Oh gosh.
What was the last photo shoot in one word? Last photo shoot you did in one word, perhaps. All right.
Yeah.
Your dream shot, dream photo shoot.
It would be going back to Ireland.
Oh, I love Ireland too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Personality behind the camera. What is your personality when you're shooting?
I'm there to add and enhance their wedding day by being a fun guest with a job.
There you go.
It's
All
about
right.
it again, experience.
Yeah.
They give them a great experience.
Yeah.
No harm.
Right. Yep.
Your last disaster shoot or your first disaster shoot?
Uh, I had
Uh-oh.
when I started out and I was advertising for family photos, I had a couple ask for some family photos. It was supposed to be them,
Mm-hmm.
their dog, and one child.
Ooh.
And my farm was picturesque. It was a great place to shoot family type sessions.
I bet. Yeah.
Well, 4 carloads pull up with like 30 people, and so
Oops.
it's it was one of those take a deep breath, just let's manage through this. But
Mm-hmm.
it was like it was
That was.
yeah.
All right.
And when you incorporate animals, dogs or cats or anything, that can get.
Try getting a cat to look at the camera.
Oh, I know.
Ever.
I know.
Dead,
I have
dead
to.
mouse.
No,
Dead mouse.
I have to get them really wired out on catnip, and then they're more docile. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is your ideal choice of lighting?
We all talk about the golden hour. That's great. I shoot sunsets differently than a lot of photographers. I don't just count on the golden hour. I'll actually bring in some off-camera lighting and make that sunset pop.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's the early morning, late afternoon.
Well, you probably do some bounce, bounce light
Yeah.
with the
There you go.
reflectors and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, in keeping with the theme today, which is photography, it's time to step into our word of the day.
Oh, boy.
Both of you should feel very comfortable with this word.
I've been dying to hear this.
Oh yeah, me too.
The word is chimping.
Mhm.
Chimping. CHIM as in Mary. PING. Chimping.
I told you we don't do animals.
I know that word well. So
Well, Charlie, you got
I've heard. I never. I know the word, but I avoid it
it's the habit of checking your shot after every single.
every single.
look. Yeah, look at the back of the camera after every shot. Yeah.
But that can sometimes that's great, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a place where if you have rapidly changing light,
yeah.
if you've got a ceremony that's happening and you've got scattered clouds that are floating through and changing direct sunlight to
Yeah.
filtered sunlight, then you may have to check a
But-
few shots.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But when you have your camera set on burst, 'cause then you're going through 15, 20 shots at a time because it's pow, 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 pow,
Yeah.
and to check each one of those, as for later, that's what I do anyway. Later on, I
Yeah.
go through
It's an interesting word, chimping. I mean,
chimping.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
It's
All
but
right.
it's different.
kind of like cheating. I don't know. Maybe it's some
Chimping.
morph of some word or
Or
something.
monkey or something. Chimp, you're chimping, you're jumping around back and forth. All right, not bad, but just keeps getting better as we snap into another round of
Snap.
Did You Know. Yes, see, you're getting all this this
I know.
verbiage that I'm using in relation to photography today.
Yeah.
All right, going with our theme today. Did you know Victorians used to take photos of dead people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
And
a
why?
lot of people take photos of dead
So
people.
actually, they pose the family with dead people and make it look like a portrait. Yeah.
Keep
Well,
track of dead
and
deceased
especially
folks.
back in, like Bonnie and Clyde, my goodness, they had them laid out for so many different shots. I mean, back in the day for the, like Wyatt Earp and all them, they did. They posed next to their dead
They're killed.
people. Their kill, yeah.
All right, well, hunters do it. Why shouldn't
Yeah, that's true.
gangsters do
I
it?
think that's kind of why.
Okay. Did you know you can develop film in coffee? You ever heard about that one?
Wow. No, I mean, I
In
used to
coffee.
eat a lot of coffee.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
This is supposed to be true. The process is called, believe it or not, caffeinol. Cafenol. It uses instant coffee, vitamin C, and washing soda, which is a laundry booster,
Yeah.
to turn black and white negatives into images.
Well,
Is that what you used to do back?
oh, of
in the
course,
day?
yeah. I mean, no, of course not. I never did that.
Hanging up your pictures in the dark
Coffee
on the clothesline
with coffee.
with clothes clips. Yeah.
Yeah. No, never did that
All right.
that type of developing.
Okay. Did you know your left side looks better because it shows more emotion and intensity?
Now, I don't
I
know.
would think I'd know that as a wedding photographer.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little curious where he's getting this.
These are supposed to be all true, I swear.
Yeah.
Website you did.
Yeah, I know. That's
All
right.
right, here's one for you. Do you know what the name Kodak means?
They actually wanted to use my name, but they missed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, Kodak, it's close.
Nothing.
It means nothing.
It means nothing.
Nothing. George Eastman just liked the letter K because it felt strong and incisive, so he made up the word.
I would have thought it maybe something to do with the, Alaska Kodak.
The Kodiak?
Kodiak.
Okay, the Kodak bear.
The Kodak bear. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, looks like Cody's getting ready to pack up his camera equipment, but he's one of the reasons why we enjoy having people like him in our studio. He sees the world one frame at a time and somehow makes the rest of us look good in the process.
That's
Charlie, I'm going to leave that
that's
one alone.
important. Yeah. Good idea.
All right, Cody, thanks for hanging out with us today and sharing your lens side wisdom. But before we let you escape back into the world, tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, book a shoot, your website information, socials, smoke signals, whatever you got. Drop it so our listeners can get connected with you.
Absolutely. So the website is blackcapphotography.com. You can find me on Facebook by the same name, Instagram by the same name. I don't TikTok or all.
No.
It's just, but yeah. And
Okay.
email address is blackcapphotography@gmail.com. So
Black cap. All right. And
Yeah,
again,
well, that
yeah.
goes right along with the weddings.
Well,
right?
black cap being the graduation, is that why the black cap? Or
there's a story. So when I left corporate America, I swore I was never going to get a haircut ever again. I guess I broke that promise years ago. But anyway, I was letting my hair grow out. It would get in my eyes while I was shooting, so I had a black cap.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
all right.
I needed a name for the photography business, and at the time, it just sounded okay.
That's great.
It
Yeah.
just makes for a really long email address. So
Yeah.
Well, but it sounds formal.
Yeah.
Like, I was
It
thinking,
does go with the photography verbiage, yeah.
yes, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's adjust our focus and widen the frame because it's time to zoom out from the studio and take a look at everything happening right here in our mountain community. So grab your calendars, set your shutter speed to anticipate, and let's jump into local events happening now and the ones to keep an eye out for. First one talks about the Ute Pass Historical Society, who has free museum tours of historic cabins, old dolls, and so much more from 11 to
There's
3.
There's the doll thing. Yeah.
Creepy dolls.
We have a few. We have a
I feel
few.
like I'm being stared at.
I know.
They do this Wednesdays through Saturday from 11 to 3. For more information, you can call 719-686-7512. If you need help in speaking, the Toastmasters meet 11 a.m. every Friday at the Woodland Park Library on the third floor. Great group. Tim Miller is a good man. Just recently, actually yesterday, there was a big event, but it was related to four teams, TEAMS, from Summit and Woodland Park Middle School are off to the Global Destination Imagination Competition. They won the state competition in March based on projects that incorporated science, technology, engineering, art, and math, which creates the acronym STEAM. And this past Thursday, being yesterday, was their silent auction to raise money for the trip, and it was phenomenal. They had over 60 baskets of goods being raffled off, and it was, again, another great support from the community to show how much they really care about these kids. And I think last year I talked with Donna Frick. They only had one team going to these Destination Imagination. Now they have 4 teams going, and they had to raise $5,000.
Wow.
And I think they easily hit, if not surpassed, that mark. And you can find pictures of the event from Thursday night on Facebook page under our Facebook page, Teller Time, which is 2 words. Okay, Chamber of Commerce is holding its annual golf tournament July 10th at Shining Mountain Golf Course. Movie night is coming up at Divide Library, and they're going to be showing the animated movie Goat, which is about a goat who is given the opportunity to play pro in a game similar to basketball, with the hidden meaning small people are just as capable as all the tall basketball players. All right, want to get some free swag?
Of course.
Want to experience the creative side of Charlie?
Of course.
Want to help us grow? Become a sponsor.
Yeah.
I mean, what better way to gain wide exposure for your business at a very cost-effective price? Why not have the Teller Teen Titans? Yeah,
Ooh.
that's Charlie and me. Let us help you get the word out. And with the large amount of listeners we have on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, it's a triple whammy. Kiss your Grammy.
Okay, then.
I've been waiting to say that since I came up with this. But think about it. Please, you can find more information on our Facebook page. Again, it has all the information about the 3 levels, $25, $50, and $100, but you get some really good coverage for your business. Kid Blackie Boxing Club is out of Cripple Creek and Victor. They're going to be having a Pro-Am boxing event June 20th at the Double Eagle Hotel and Casino, appropriately called Jack Dempsey Days. And not many people realize this, but even though Jack Dempsey was born in Manassas, he spent a significant amount of time in Cripple Creek as a young man working the mines and fighting in the local saloons. And he trained up there too and used the training for all the work he did in the mines to help get him in shape. So again, you can find that information on Facebook. Hardcastle Home Services, local business, is offering free summer student HVAC classes for students ages 15 to 18. Their dates will be June 18th from 12 to 2, July 16th from 12:30 to 2:30, and August 13th from 10 to 2. And again, more information, call 719-686-6742. Teller County Masonic Lodge, number 96, is offering $8,000 in state scholarships to a senior at Woodland Park or Cripple Creek High School. And for more information on that, you can send an email to Coach Smitty40, all one word, CoachSmitty40@yahoo.com. The first Wellness Reimagined Expo is happening June 27th from 10 to 1 p.m. at the Grit to Greatness Performance Center located behind Taco Bell. The vision is to bring together elite businesses, innovators, and leaders in fitness, recovery, holistic health, and lifestyle wellness to educate the public on alternative health resources that are here in Teller County. Don't know if any of you heard the choral song of Colorado Springs group last week. They played up here at the UPass Cultural Center, and Eric Stone, who's going to be one of our speakers, was one of the singers there. But they're going to be doing, they're collaborating with the Springs Pioneer Museum, and they're going to be holding a lecture on the 150th anniversary of Colorado, May 16th. At 12 noon and 2:30 p.m. So they're located downtown. They are off of 215, or their address is 215 South Cajon Street. Okay. Are your teeth feeling yucky? Or
Oh.
do they just need a quick look underneath the hood? There is a free dental care event coming up at Cripple Creek Victor High School. We've been talking about this on every podcast, but it's an awesome event. It is Friday, September 25th, Saturday, September 26th, starting at 6 a.m. You can go in, no questions asked, and get your teeth looked at for free, root canals for free, a bunch of different things. But they need volunteers and, of course, dirty teeth to look at. For more information, you can go to the Colorado Moms of Mercy or www.comom.org.
What was that lady's name? We had her on.
Stephanie Kaufman.
Yes.
She is a local dentist here also, but she is spearheading the whole project. They have over 200 doctors, dentists coming in to do this.
It's a big thing.
Yeah. And it's for people that can't even, afford a basic, cleaning. That's what they're going to be doing. Okay. Are you ready for the big 60th anniversary 4th of July event happening? That's another big one in addition to the 150 and the 250. We are looking for sponsors, vendors, watermelon eaters, and pie bakers. This is going to be the first time we're going to be having a pie baking contest. So we'll be looking for tasters. Already have our judges. We have quite the lineup of judges for that. But yes.
Are you entering your pies?
I'm overseeing it. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
making
okay.
sure no one cheats and brings in a Food Line or Safeway pie.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, a Safeway pie. Yeah, no.
Yes. But you can find all sorts of information on Facebook. Look for the old-fashioned 4th of July heading on the title. And yes, that's going to do it for today's Teller Time. Thanks for riding along with us. And now go out there and make someone's day a little brighter. And until then, stay kind, stay curious, and as always, stay Teller strong. Let's close with this. What we call the beginning is often the end. And to make an end is to make a beginning.
Yeah.
All right? Any idea who wrote that?
You?
That was T.S. Eliot, and that'll keep your head scratching for a while. So,
Yeah.
Thanks, folks. Teller Time out.
Cody, from one shutterbug to another. I really thank you for being here, and I would love to have you come back sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do it again
You bet.
because we have a lot to talk about.
All right.
And we have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's right.
Thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
All right.
Thank you.